So today we're going to continue with simplifying radicals, but we're going to start adding variables into this. We're doing the exact same steps, we're just going to add another one with looking at variables for it. So I went ahead and filled in the warm-up to simplify these single radicals. So square root of 1080, our perfect square factors can be 36 and 30. Square root of 36 becomes 6, so our final answer is 6 root 30. Same with 5 square root of 80, our perfect square factors will be 16 and 5. So we do 5 times the square root of 16 times the square root of 5. 5 times 4, which is what square root of 16 simplifies to, times the square root of 5, and then we do 5 times 4 to get that 20, root 5. And then our last one is a perfect square number. Square root of 225 is 15. Okay, so when we simplify radicals with variables, we're first going to separate our numbers and variables, and then we're going to simplify the numbers part. This is everything you already know how to do. Okay, the next part we're going to do is simplify the variables. And I always tell you guys, or I always say, think about pairs of shoes, okay? So we'll we'll write it in expanded form with all of the variables, expand it out, and then we're gonna look for pairs, and then the pairs get to leave the radical. You're gonna write your answer in a specific format, and then you're gonna just double check that it's completely simplified. I have this example worked out here to show you step by step. So we're given square root of 32 times x cubed y to the 8th. So our first step is here. We separated our numbers and our variables. Okay, and then we simplified our numbers part to go here. So square root of 32 is square root of 16 times the square root of 2, so it's 4 square root of 2. And then I started simplifying my variables part. So I wrote it in expanded form. X cubed is x times x times x. Okay. Y to the 8th is y times 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 y. Okay, 8 times. Then I looked and I found one pair of x's. So this is where I'm talking about the pairs of shoes. I can take a pair of x shoes and bring them out of the square root sign. Okay. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of y's. So that's why we wrote y to the 4th. We couldn't make a pair with this extra x that's under there, so it stayed. So with the pairs of shoes, you're thinking about going into your closet and you're finding pairs, okay? When you do have a pair, that gets to leave as an x. This is going to stay in there though, because we don't have an extra pair or another x to go with it, okay? That's why I like to say think about shoes. You're gonna take a pair of shoes. You're not gonna take one flip-flop and leave, okay? You're also not gonna take a flip-flop and a high heel shoe and walk out, okay? You're gonna look funny doing it, so don't. And then we have our 4 square root of 2 from our numbers part, and then we have our numbers, or our variable simplified. We're gonna rewrite it in the correct format. We're going to do everything outside of the radical sign together, and then everything inside goes next to each other. Okay. So we're going to do a few examples together, worked through. Square root of 9a cubed. So we're going to simplify square root of 9 times the square root of a cubed. Square root of 9 is 3. So that's nice, that's pretty easy. And then square root of a cubed is a times a times a. We have one pair of a's, so that's going to get to leave as 3a. We have 1a left inside the square root, so that stays. The next one we have is square root of 49 m to the 4th p squared. So we separate our numbers and our variables. Square root of 49 is nice and easy, 7. And then our variables, we have m to the 4th, so 4 m's. And then we have 2 p's for p squared. So we have 2 pairs of m's, and then 1 pair of p's. So we get to take out 2 m's, or m squared, okay, because we have 1 m, another m is going to be m squared, and then 1 p. Nothing is left in the square root sign, so this is our final answer. Go ahead and pause and work through these next three. Actually, do the next two. Don't worry about this one. Okay, work through these two and then hit play to check your work. Okay, so square root of 48 and square root of a squared b cubed. 48 would be, let's see, 48 we have 2 and 24, 3 and 16. I'm gonna go ahead and go with that one. So square root of 3 times the square root of 16. That's gonna give us 4 square root of 3. And then we have our variables, so a times b times b times b, 1, 2. So 4ab square root of 3b is left over. Make sure your b doesn't look like a 6, because that might make you think it says 36. Right? And then 3 square root of 72. So this one's a little different. It starts with this number outside. We're gonna do just like we did before with radicals. If there's a number outside, you just multiply it. So 3 square root of 72 times x to the 6th, y to the 5th, z. 72 is going to be 36 and 2. You also could have done 9 and 8. You're just gonna have more steps. Either one works. So we have 18 square root of 2 is our numbers part. And then we have 6 x's, 36, 5 y's, and then 1 z. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 pairs, 1, 2, and then 2 left over. So we have a y and a z. They could make a pair, but that would be us wearing a flip-flop and a sneaker, or a flip-flop and a high heel. Won't work out. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 x's, 2 y's, and then square root of y, z. So we have this piece and this piece we need to combine. So our final answer will be 18x cubed y squared square root of 2yz. Okay. So you guys are going to go ahead and go practice this. It's basically what we were doing the day before, just now adding variables to that extra piece. Good luck.